Perhaps you've witnessed this style of parenting. It's actually a detriment to our children's growth and future. Allowing failure to happen is necessary for our kids' growth. The positive outcome that results from failure shows us plainly why we as parents must change. Having raised 4 kids and coached 4 different sports and working with the Foster Care Review Board, writing up cases, I've had several insights to this trend, and it scares me. This is a growing problem. It's a huge problem in society. Parents have been dubbed helicopter parents, and a term I heard yesterday was a snowplow parent. Young adults are struggling in society, and kids are becoming more entitled. We need to start letting our children fail if we desire to see them succeed. There are many reasons why we should let our children fail and not hover over them to save them. By not allowing failure, we are actually sabotaging their lives. We are setting them up for some harsh lessons in life that could have easily been learned in their youth. And we are promoting the entitlement attitudes and then limiting their personal growth. And we're even shattering their ability to achieve their goals and dreams. Natural consequences are essential. So breaking down how we go about letting our children fail requires us to take a look, an in-depth look, at where we save them. Sarah Bean lists 5 natural consequences and why you should let your child fail. The first is allowing failure when poor decisions are made at school. That results in showing your child, and I quote here, that rules are here for a reason and going against them is unpleasant. End quote. When something goes wrong at school and your child receives a detention or they have to miss recess, please support that authority. Do not undermine the teachers. It is a natural consequence. Another area is with personal belongings. Most kids have their own space, and a simple task of putting their dirty clothes in the laundry could teach them a lot. If they choose not to, they'll simply have no clean clothes. Maybe even as a parent, you might go one step further and say you are now in charge of doing your own laundry. A friend of mine's son couldn't find his jacket one morning and went to school without it. It was cold, and his friend said, "Call your mom." Ty did not call his mom because his mom doesn't run to his aid. But as a result, Ty's never forgotten his jacket again. Being cold once was all that Ty wanted to experience. Another area, household chores. They should be part of all of our homes. Teaching children to work for a small allowance by paying for the chores they do helps them understand the real world. You must work if you expect to get paid, or you will be fired, and you won't be able to buy the things you want or the things you need. When my kids were at home, it drove me crazy to see their stuff strewn all over the house. And I finally told them I was going to collect their stuff each night after they'd gone to bed, and anything I found was going to be in my collection basket, and they would have to pay me to get it back, since I was the one who did the work. One daughter told me, "I'm not going to pay you for my homework. There's no way you're going to keep it." Well, the next morning, her teacher agreed with my rule that when she told her that my mom had confiscated my homework, and that is why I do not have it. She soon learned to put her homework in her backpack where it belonged. This leads me to another natural consequence area of homework. Sometimes a child's embarrassed when they don't do their homework, and they are called on in class to give an answer and they don't know it because they didn't study it. Other times their poor grades remove them from sports activities that they really desire to be in. Maybe even in the long term, they're unable to go to the university that they want because their GPA scores are not high enough. Every child must learn to take responsibility for their own progression in school. You cannot follow your child to work every day when he is an adult to remind him to fulfill his responsibilities. Far easier for a child to learn the lesson in their youth. Getting a poor grade is a natural consequence and not nearly as painful as losing a job. Another area is the behavior in the community. This is the last area I want to touch on. Sometimes our kids act really poor at someone else's house. They act out and their friend doesn't invite them back. Well, that's a natural consequence. Another one is the privilege of driving. Perhaps your child is out driving and they get a speeding ticket. This occurred with my oldest daughter. She was speeding, pulled over, and in that state where we lived at the time, they required an adult to accompany them to court if the child was under 18. So once there, the judge immediately asked my daughter who was going to pay her ticket. My daughter's response was me. I'm the one who sped, and my mom would never pay it. The judge then thanked me in a very loud voice so that everyone in the entire courtroom could hear it. And he commented on how this child is being taught responsibility and she will think twice before she speeds again. We also had another rule in our family that when you received 2 speeding tickets, you were now privileged to go and get your own insurance. And that further instilled that natural consequence. Well, does failure really work? Let's take a closer look. What does failure teach us? Chip Ingram, the author of Let Your Kids Fail, teaches us by allowing our children to fail, it gives them life-altering perspective on the realities of working for a goal. He reminds us that we do a disservice when we cover for them or alleviate the consequences. And we are denying them opportunities for growth that come with failure and disappointment. Close quote. Our kids must learn how to cope so that they can build their own confidence and learn how to persevere in this world. Yes, there will be some bumps and bruises along the way, some of their own doing, and some that are simply inflicted upon them from others. But as a result, they will learn how to hold their own, and they will be better for it. Susan Newman taught that today's overprotective, failure-avoiding parenting style has undermined the competence, the independence, and the academic potential of an entire generation. One university student said she became conditioned of fear of failure. In Newman's book, The Gift of Failure, she reminds us that failure helps children learn about themselves and reminds us they will recover. Another point she offered was to be patient and trust in your kids. And remember, when we say, "Let me do that for you," we are, in essence, telling our kids that they are not capable. Newman also wrote that the harder kids work to overcome challenges, the smarter they will become. And those children whose parents support autonomy become more competent and resilient. Her last point reminds us that kids who pursue their own goals are likely to meet them and stick with them for the long haul. The word crisis is a scary word, and James Lehman teaches about the word crisis. He says the Chinese symbol for crisis is a combination of the symbols for danger and opportunity. Yes, a crisis presents danger, but it also presents opportunity. Allow your child to learn. Failure is an opportunity to get your child to look at himself. Let's review what others think of failure. This is advice from well-known individuals who embrace failure, and it's quoted from the online site Develop Good Habits. Elvis Presley said, "When things go wrong, don't go with them." Michael Jordan said, "I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." Vincent van Gogh said, "What would life be if we had no courage to attempt anything?" And J.K. Rowling said, "Rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life." Thomas Edison said, "Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up." As you have now understood from the information presented, there are many reasons why failure is actually a positive. Please remember that failure brings forth many good fruits, both for the parents who desire the very best for their child and ultimately for the child. By choosing to let our kids fail in their own personal life, in home and at school and within our communities, we are affording them the best opportunity to face any crisis in life and to come off the conqueror. They will learn how to cope, and they will face the natural consequences of their own decisions head on. As a result, both the parents and the children will learn how to view failure as a positive. We can alter this trend of bringing up entitled kids who cannot succeed in the real world. This new generation will grow into confident young adults who are ready to be a force for positive change in their world, and they will become competent adults who can weather the storms of life by being empowered through failure to reach their goals. Failure, when experienced properly, is not failure. I plead with you to allow the failure to be the teacher it was meant to be for our next generation of kids so that they might achieve their dreams. Thank you.